Good evening. Welcome to Free America. We've been talking about enemies at the gate. I got thinking about it today, and it goes back to that old book that was done back in the 80s called Barbarians at the Gate. Now, when I'm talking about barbarians at the gate, we're not talking about any one group in particular. Let's go over about what we talked about on the last video. I believe it was Thursday or Friday of last week. A compound at Taos, New Mexico was found. Elements of the local law enforcement raided it and removed 11 children from a situation that was so horrendous. I don't think people even live that bad in the Middle East or in Africa. They took 5 adults into custody. And while searching the place after one adult, an adult male who was living at one time in Atlanta, Georgia, and who was the non-custodial parent of a 3-year-old boy whom also disappeared from the Atlanta area. They were searching for that child. Well, it seems that they found the remains of a child buried in human waste in a tunnel. They haven't definitively said that it's the missing little boy. But they have jailed all 5 adults. Fast forward to Wednesday, the 15th. A liberal judge in Taos, New Mexico, has granted bail to 4 of the 5. The 5th one, the guy from Atlanta, he's being held on retainer for the Atlanta Police Department. Now, I want you to think about this. These 5 adults were teaching young kids to use semi-automatic weapons, to go into schools to shoot up our schools. Now, this judge, liberal judge, said there wasn't enough evidence put to it yet, so she gave them a $10,000 bond. They're wearing tracking anklets, and they have to be in contact with their lawyers once a week. They just aren't very bright, are they, folks? Taos, New Mexico is what, 5, 6, 7 hours from the Mexican border? And by the way, it's been confirmed there are Islamic compounds in the frontera of Mexico. Was this judge working off of law or foolishness? Can't tell you. But what I can tell you is, I believe a mistake was made by that judge. Like I said, when I'm referring to barbarians at the gate, I'm also not referring to any one group of people. But what went down there? Am I referring to the people they arrested as the barbarians? Or the judge as a barbarian? Actually, I'm referring to the judge as a barbarian, folks. And I'll tell you why. With everything that's gone on, with everything that was seen, and I'm sure that judge had lots of pictures put in front of her of the horrible, horrible situation those children were in. And yet she still turned them loose. And anybody who thinks those little those monitors on their ankle, aluminum foil, will knock them out. I had a guy tell me that had to wear one for 13 months. He got a DWI, had house arrest, he had to wear one, and when he wanted to get out of the house, he'd just wrap it in aluminum foil, and it would do its thing. It couldn't tell that he'd left the house. Folks, we have got to get back to a point of civil discord in this country where it's not my identity politics or nothing. It needs to be the best interest for our cities, our counties, our states, our country. It can no longer be. Somebody asked me if I thought Barack Obama did much damage, and I very politely told him yes. He destroyed a lot. And a year and a half of Donald J. Trump is not going to be able to mend it. So, with that being said, folks, I'm going to leave you. We're going to continue talking about barbarians at the gates on the next one. Probably 2 or 3 more. Most of this week will be talking about barbarians at the gates. So, thank you. Have a blessed day. And welcome back to Free America. Good night.